hello and welcome to Espace TV. And we are back to a special series, Tough Talks Tuesdays, where I'm honored to co-host it with Ms. Sheela Iyer. She's a veteran journalist and a beauty industry observer, and of course, the lady behind the Beauty Business Days, which is a great platform for to business matchmaking. And we have with us today, we're honored to have two very special guests. Mr. Vikram Bhatt, he is the founder and director of Enrich Salons, and Mr. Sachin Kamat, he is the director, employee engagement and customer engagement at Enrich Salons. So Enrich, as we know, is a chain, one of the most, I would say the only right now, the corporate chain of salon in the country. They have 86 salons across 6 cities and growing at a rapid pace before COVID came and decided to freeze all of us in our activities. So here we are today talking about some very crucial, very, very crucial issues about the industry, and with a perspective from these two honorable men who have, brought the salon industry to a point where they really need to start thinking about, putting systems in place while you're scaling up, thinking about customer and employee engagement, and having all things in place, including the digital, where they have Belita, which is their arm for go-to-home services. And so I will start with Vikram, with you. You have to tell me how COVID has impacted the whole, this whole journey, which was like, I could see that every month you were launching salons, across mostly the Western region, and you have 86 salons, which is, and they are all done with such precise and beautiful layouts, mostly partnered with salon, with L'Oreal and Hair, I think. So I would like to know what exactly, of course, the salons have shut down and you've had your own challenges. Please, if you could tell us about these challenges, and then we can talk further.
See, before this lockdown thing started off, we were continuing in our growth journey, right? So at any point of time, we would have a situation of 2 or 3 new salons are being built up. And in addition to it, we also renovate all the old salons. So in last 2 years, we have renovated more than 50 salons, along with adding up another 35, 37 new salons, right? And as you know, the process is same. So it requires more capex, much more investment on infrastructure and process. So that continued. So if I take a stock, except 4 or 5 salons, all salons of Enrich are now new and refreshed with the next level, not only designing concept, but also in terms of processes, people, customer service, resulting into overall experience. So yes, this COVID has created a kind of what you call handbrake situation, or a kind of emergency brake situation where things are disturbed, and it's a time to redefine our thoughts, right? And this is applicable to everyone who's into business. In fact, as an individual, everyone, I would say, not only employer or employee, not only retail or anything you are doing in life, we need to rejig our way of thinking, working, execution, everything. So after series of conversation internally, externally, if I can simplify that, we have redefined our focus into 6 blocks. So, and 3 sets of 2 blocks each. So first 2 blocks are online, offline. Second, going to be services and products. And third is salon and home. Now, for us to continuing on any business, customer can choose one of it. So today, customer can choose online option to buy a product to be delivered at home. Now, if you see, this combination was not there, right? But situation has helped us, or probably has pushed us to think something differently. Now it could be also a fact that product used to be maybe 20% of our overall revenue, now needs to be given much more focus. The customer would come, quickly pick it up and go home. Home services, even though we are in it for almost 3 years, is acquired this brand called Belita, always remain a small entity or a business for us. So I would honestly confess this, that we didn't pay that much attention for doing the home services because we were busy expanding salons, and the kind of revenue you get there is not comparable. But now with changed environment, right? This is also going to be customers' expectation, and then that we need to fulfill. So it has to be an omni-channel approach where the choice has to be with customer.
Right.
You want online, I'm there. You want offline, I'm there. You want service, product at home, at salon, we will try to serve you best possible way. And online is not just kind of selling it. We also need to have next level of thought process of booking an appointment or getting review, or getting customer know their reward points or membership program or the loyalty benefits on their own. Sure. Right? So those things we are implementing with our new app being launched. Now this 6 blocks can be achieved when we focus on the 2 execution strategies. Right. And one strategy is our processes, and second is our people, right? And processes have been revamped, redesigned every possible way to ensure there are more and more safety norms, because this situation is not going to get over so easily. It's not dangerous, but it is definitely contagious, and it results into sudden kind of situation where somebody got it and you need to remove quite a few people, right? So to avoid any such situation, we need to ensure we make much more investment on safety side of it. And yes, people motivation, their energy, their enthusiasm has to be kept intact. So we need to do a whole lot of things to make them feel safe as far as their job is concerned, feel safe as far as their work environment is concerned, feel safe, or rather make them feel that there is a career aspiration, there is a long way to go about. This 3 months, 6 months, yes, definitely force us to kind of take one step back before we move forward. So those are the things currently we are working on.
Fantastic. On that note, Sachin, I just want you to give us your take on, what are the number of employees you have, and how have you been able to sustain employee confidence in such an environment where everybody, I'm sure you're employing some migrant workforce as well. And what have you done so that, they don't panic in these circumstances? And also the customer, the messages. I know that you have had a campaign going about safety norms, doubling up at your end. But I would like to hear from you. What have you done in these 2 areas?
Yeah, so Vikram just told you about the 6 blocks and how the 2 others, which is people and processes, are used to get it across. I'm going to keep it the same theme and add 2 more. So the 2 more are what we call me and we. Okay. And that's actually what has guided our thinking through all this. The whole idea of me to we is because if you look at it, if you take some steps away and look at it, the entire world got into this issue that we are facing right now. Right. I think because whether it was countries or communities or companies, everybody was more or less only looking after their own stakeholders, correct? Or to put it even more simply, everybody is guarding only their interest. And we got one virus which has got the entire world to a standstill. Interestingly, the only way we will get out of it is when this virus gets away from the entire world. Technically, that is possible.
Absolutely.
And the only way that will be possible is if we change our very definition of selfish. So, rather than thinking just about me, if we think about we, so whether you are a country again or a community or a company, if I stop thinking only about my interest, but I think about the interests of my people, about my community, about my people, entire stakeholders, not only the regular ones, but 2 layers outside, that is going to get you out of this situation. And that's actually the way to be. So what we did was, even before the lockdown happened, we had already introduced a self-declaration form and infrared thermometer and all that. But more importantly, this quality, safety, hygiene is something like more than a decade old in Enrich. And I remember in the long time that we spent to try and get funding, we have met a lot of PEs who told us, why have this structure? I mean, you guys run a salon. Why do you need to have a quality department and measures and metrics? And what is this? It just adds to a hell of a lot of cost. We have heard that. But today, having that more than 10-year-old practice, where you have standard operating procedures for everything, you have measurements, you have metrics, you have a experience audit, you have a quality audit, you have a department who does surprise checks, they have reports. These reports are factored into the employee's reward package. And so there is continuous development. These things have helped. So for us, frankly, what it meant was we had to go through this entire thing that we already have in place and an ecosystem and team who understand this. We reviewed everything, yes, made it more stringent, added a few things as required, and then trained our people on it and trained our parameters. So that's what we did. The other thing that we did was we have this system of cascading information, which is something that's always been there at Enrich. We do town halls every quarter. Everybody gets all our information is very transparently shared. So even in this, maybe about 77 days ago now, and I'll tell you why I know that number. We started doing a daily video for our team members, where we would sum up what we need everybody to know on that one day, and in the evening we send that out. So yesterday was our video number 77. So all through this, and the lockdown has been there maybe for 59 days or 60 days, right? So we've been doing this from some first week of March, and we continue to do that. As a result, not just is our team on the same page as us, but whether it is our product partners or our landlords or our other partners, our tech partners, everything else, we've tried to be in constant touch. And we are one of the teams who believes that there is nothing like over communicating. Right? More importantly, at a time like this. So that's what we've been busy doing, and using the time to learn and rejig our mindsets to this entire me to we. Saying, don't just think about yourself, think about the collective, and that's the way ahead for us to go.
Fantastic. So now I'll hand this over to Sheela ji to
hello.
ask your questions. Yeah.
Okay, before you there, I think Ritoo had some other questions on migrant laborers and something else.
That was there too.
So you want to repeat the question, then you can answer.
Okay, so basically the question was that I'm sure that you employ a lot of migrant workforce. And in these times, especially when everybody's panicking and running home, how have you been able to sustain confidence or even giving them succor in these times?
You want to take that?
In terms of numbers, we have around 2,200 people team.
Okay.
And of that, about 250 are, so almost 10-12% of our population is coming from other state, right? So it's not a big number to the overall size and the count of organization. In Bangalore, for example, our team is close to 170 people, managing about 9-10 salons. We had about 30 people there, right? So they have gone back and they are in their places. But when we wanted to reopen the operations, out of 137 people, 132 reported on day one. So that level of commitment we see in our team, and it's a process, right? I'm sure there is something good happening every day which makes them feel motivated, engaged to come back to work. So we really didn't feel anything that is missing because of this situation. A lot of our team members have also decided to stay back, not that they want to go back, and I think that's somewhere working fine. Same situation was when Gujarat opened, right? Almost everyone who was in the town, almost 10, 11% of the population was out. And in their case, they are like interiors of Gujarat. But yeah, those who are in the city uh, expressed and then they joined the meeting. More importantly, during this time, we are also, the team is also undergoing a lot of training programs, a lot of awareness sessions, a lot of fun activities, right? So the only difference is that they are at home doing slightly different work than anything else. So it's not a typical situation where मेरे पास कुछ काम नहीं है और फिर मेरे को नहीं, what do I do? Okay, काम करता हूँ. I'll go back to my place and I will be with my family. So somewhere productively, they are still engaged and busy, which makes them kind of doing some other the new thing to learn, adopt new practices, and maybe Sachin can talk more about our couple of other initiatives what we have rolled. So that way, it's not there. Second thing, I think in this entire process, one thing we have reassured to ourselves as well as our team is that right now is the time where we need to feel safe. And feel safe is not only from this virus, but also in the ecosystem and our job or career or whatever employment we are into, right? So if that sense of safety is extended to somebody's to assurance to some individual that okay, fine, you are safe, don't worry about it, we are together in this. Right. I think that really helped us.
Yes.
Just to also tell you quickly, 2-3 points to make. Number one, we've had 2 all hands webinars. So we've had people where we've had 2 sessions where almost everybody in our ecosystem was on the webinar. Okay. That is one. Secondly, we usually in the month of April, we carry out our annual appraisal. This year we said, so what if there is COVID? Doesn't mean we won't do it. So we have actually gone through the entire assessment cycle and we did it except for doing it remotely because you can't physically meet. Everything else we carried out as well as that. Take customers. We sent a survey out to customers and some 4+ lakh people. And we asked them, what is it that is worrying you right now? This is what we are thinking of doing. What do you think should get added? So our entire new process in a way has got inputs from several thousand customers as well. Correct? So we also asked them, what is it that's worrying you? How soon do you see yourself coming in? We also did an initiative that we called it Call is Well, because we can't serve you. At least we can call you and help you with whatever you're dealing with, give you some DIY tips, help you with trying to do something that you want to achieve and so on and so forth. So we have contacted thousands of customers in that manner. And remember, this is technicians calling their own customers, not like a call agent calling somebody, right? So that kind of thing really matters.
Sure. Fantastic. Now we have to, I will get back to Sheela ji. Are you there? Okay. So what I'll do is, I can see her back while we get her back. The next question, which is top of my mind, is that we have been talking a lot about you amongst the very few people in the industry who have got funding. You've raised money from the market and you've kind of on your way to a rapid growth. and a very well-structured growth. What I would like to understand is how these times, kind of, when you have these kind of fundings, you have a set of responsibilities with them, right? So how do you kind of uh, how does this help or not help you during these times of emergency? When you can't expand, you have to hold everything up, and is this taken into account when you have those investments?
Okay. So you're fortunate to get 2 rounds, or rather 3 rounds of investment. First round, which happened sometime in 2011, we gave exit to the partner in 2018, and the new partner came in, right? But all these three investments are stake equity. So in a way, we are partners. It's
Right.
not any preferred option or any debt or anything, right? So, and we need to align and ensure there are various stakeholders in the organization, right? Starting from our people, which we feel that are the first priority for us, our team.
Yeah.
Second is our customer.
Yeah.
Third would be our business associates, government, and then shareholders.
Correct.
And again, I'm saying, like, I've just defined these 4 or 5 things. So any such decisions, we ensure that all stakeholders are aligned to it, and it is working in interest of their own purpose of being into Enrich. We fondly call it Planet Enrich, right? So even in these times, we are so fortunate that our private equity partner, Westbridge Capital, has been supportive enough, right? So we get a great input in terms of what's happening beyond our industry, what's happening globally, how things are different in different regions and continent and geographies, so that uh, that external view comes back. Uh, it also works as a sounding board where there are important decisions, and then as a process, this entire thing started as a friendly venture where some 3 4 got together, and since then we know that, okay, who are our people should know all the important decisions, so we get a validation of our assumptions and thought process. As far as money is concerned, at least we have that assurance that as and when we require to
Right.
not only survive, sustain, but to grow, uh, there is kind of support available from our equity partner. So that way, situation is quite controlled. Yes, having said that, we need to ensure that we optimize our cost best possible way, and we minimize the losses which we are going to incur, because this is not a situation where it started from mid-May and it will finish on 31st of May. Then just one phase of it, right? It's a lockdown period where business is completely shut down. But even if and when we reopen, things will take time to settle down, right? And we feel it's going to take a little longer than any of us would have thought about, right? So this particular financial year, we need to manage quite carefully. First 3 months, and then next another 6 months of this financial year. And that's why we are not even working on, or we have rather reworked on our financial and annual plan, where we are saying that we will review each and everything by quarter, because it's becoming a zero-sum game, right? There are new normals or things which are coming in, and we need to build upon that, right? So those things we are going to do it. So cost, definitely we need to uh, apply our heart as well as head to manage it optimally, and we are doing it
Okay.
right way.
I think we'll need a different, session where we would love to hear. You could almost train people on, those guys who are trying to grow and grow, as to what it takes to first of all get these investments and then sustain them, and how to,
Yeah.
commit to a partner or not. So now over to Sheela ji about the next round of questions.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Okay. So I know we've lost a lot of time, so I'll come to it pretty quickly. Retail. This for Vikram. Retail has been a very important part of your, your strategy. I have been seeing it that you have evolved pretty well. I've been going to the outlets and seeing that the look, feel, everything has changed. So what is the, what is the kind of a share retail has of your business, and how is it, how have you envisaged this to grow?
Okay. So currently, for every salon, retail contributes anywhere from 25% to 30% of the overall business, right? If you ask me, last 5 years journey, it has almost moved from 10-12% to 15 to 20 to 23 to 25. So it's growing as a percentage of revenue share. Retail's contribution is increasing day by day. Uh, but it also means that your margins would be lower, because in traded products the contribution what you get is relatively lower than the services. So we need to ensure that we are keeping a fine balance, right? We have introduced quite a few new brands because uh, customers would need choices, right? So I remember in skin we had maybe one or two brands 5 years ago. Right now we have 6 brands, right, who are helping selling more and more skin products. Same way in hair, uh, almost out of 86, 65 stores are Keraste stores. We are the largest Keraste's chain of salon in India, right? And this has happened over a period of time, right? And it has evolved, right? Because customer also looking for moving to the next level, their lifestyle changes, their kind of spend we will keep increasing, and we have aligned ourselves to keep up to that expectation and the promise. The next level thought would be to also add few options in terms of getting more into maybe body and makeup, right? So we know very well that there is a huge vertical of makeup business that is happening, and the customer profile is more or less same. Actually it's exactly same, not more or less same, but somewhere we are missing that opportunity, correct? If you pick up example international market like Ultas and Sephora's of the world, they've created huge what do you call wealth creation by having focus onto the retail, and then 50% of their business comes from makeup business or selling of makeup products, right? Again, I'm talking from a long-term strategy point of view. It may be sounding a bit difficult for next 3 to 6 months time, because you want to know how what can touch you and how you can do it, and demo and everything will get redefined. But for long-term strategy, it is important that we keep focusing on retail. uh, See, services business on its own is like running on treadmill. We need to keep those 300 things perfect every day, right? That machinery has to kind of be oiled well and it has to function every day. And sad, I would say, like a little bit low. I feel low when it doesn't create the value creation, right? Wherein retail has that excitement, that zinc for shareholders, for investors, that it gets the premium for the business model which have succeeded in global markets, right? So our focus is going to be do not leave services business, but definitely increase the retail product. And if you're able to balance it, so from 25-75, if you're able to meet go 60-40, and it can be either services to product or products to services, it can be a much stronger business model, which gives a whole lot of choice to customer, so they are happy being served, they're happy being sold, as well as for our own people it is great because they've got opportunity not only to make money from services to the customer, but also from sale to the customer. Higher realization per square feet, all operational financial metrics can be managed much better way, and that's how it will create more value for the stakeholders.
Um, Continuing on this, when I've been going to the salons, I've seen a very distinct change in terms of the interiors and the layouts. There's been a lot of, space, or rather a lot of space given to the retail, which made me, and making it look very attractive, So how has your staff taken to this? Have they liked the, selling more, or have they, because there's always been a block with people felt, who are offering services, they did not really like to push retail. For many years, this block has been there. So how has your staff or your technicians and all taken to it? This is for Sachin.
It is, I would think, how have they taken it? They've taken it very well. If you see traditionally, over the counter versus professional products, the whole difference, whether you take the medical fraternity or you take the salon fraternity, the reason why the doctor is the specialist, here your therapist or your hairstylist is the specialist. They do, the difference is, you'll get a general product which is good for everything, versus you will get prescribed something that is true for your specific condition and things that have caused it. So if you look at the whole professional product journey in salons, I think our team loves it, and the reason is because they are at the center of it. Correct? So they are the ones who understand. We train them on what the product is, why the product is. We train them on consulting the customer and figuring out what works for which condition. And when your stylist or therapist will consult with you and then tell you, this is what I think might work better for you, then it is a very personalized, a very customized kind of approach, and it makes therefore much better sense. Now, having said that, traditionally hair has been more ahead on that than the skin or the beauty vertical, but that has not just been because it's again had a number of reasons. But now, if you see over a period of time, that is also coming together. So today you have enough choices there. Even in skincare products, you will have beauty therapists who are more knowledgeable and now open to talking about it and getting trained and doing better. So like you said, the salon interiors evolved. Even the team and the way they think evolved. So if you see 15 years ago, the kind of talent that got into a salon versus right now is quite, that also has evolved over a period of time. So from being a thing where people bumped into this profession or took it because they had little other choice, today we are seeing significant number of people who are coming to this profession because they want to. There are also trainings that have come in. Earlier it used to be a pure apprentice game, right? You looked and learned from somebody, assisted somebody and started. Now, at least in all the organized places like ours, you will not set foot on the floor of the salon unless you are first trained, then you do a job shadow, and then you get on to serving. So there has been evolution across the value chain, if I'm making sense.
I think just to add to it, an education, not only technical education, but also sort of soft skill training and learning and development helps or enables their confidence in kind of, putting across this. Otherwise, generally, it's like, technicians may feel, okay, we are good at services, let me just do that. I don't want to do retail products. But through this process, we have ensured that they understand the benefit of it. And end of the day, it's a smart say, right? They get something out of it with less efforts or hard work. So why would they not want to do it?
And more than effort, I'll tell you a very interesting thing. If you look at it purely from a sales point of view, right? Now, anybody will tell you sales.
Are you there?
Yeah. Sales 101 will tell you that any sale, if you want to sell a product and you can do a demo, it will actually aid the process. Now, think of this. They are doing hair color for you and using a shampoo after the color process to do the first wash. That's a demo, right? And then they're telling you, this is the product you have to use, which will cause the same effect that it caused here, and you can take it home for you. So you have an expert, you have a place like a salon, which is the right place to talk about it. You have dedicated time that customers are focusing on listening to you, and you have the ability to do a demo, and you have been trained for it. So when you put all of these things together, it is quite the recipe to do good product sales.
Vikram, this is a question for you. How do you select the products that that you will put in your retail portfolio?
Okay,
How
I
do
would say there we be little blessed and see as far as hair is concerned, right? Almost Enrich and are our leading hair product partner is L'Oreal, right? So we started our journey together, right? 97 way back, and I think since 99 we have like we've started working with them, using their products. They helped us a lot on uh, when the training was, or training always remains our focus, but when it was required and it was not there, right? So from those days, to work as a partner and even getting valuable insights through interaction with them, through meetings, through observation, being with them in overseas trips, learning from various geography, various countries, and then the business models. Somewhere it has helped us understanding the business more and better, right? And otherwise, if you talk about our profile, it's quite boring, right? Me, Sachin, Bhupesh, Rohit, we don't know even H of hair or S of skin, for that matter. So that's a different thing. Maybe you want to ask Sachin what is his latest passion all about, and he'll share more on that. So that I think working as a partner with brand has really helped us, and that's how we could move from say L'Oreal to then when they got Declare into India, we got engaged there. Then Cheryl's, which they acquired, homegrown brand, and now Kerastase. So that is evolved. On the skin side also, brand like Remilor, we've been working for almost 15, 17, 20 years with them. And they've been also quite supportive, and one cannot doubt the efficacy of the product. And we are very clear, whatever our customers are feeling good about is something we need to have it, right? We have plenty of choices of moving from one brand to other brand or getting multiple, this, that. But I think somewhere it's great to be happily married to the brands you love and the brands who loves your brand. So then
And the
that
ones
things
that
work very
customers
well.
love.
Yes, and definitely when the one which customer loves. Uh, then, having said that, there are some niche categories of product. So we have also worked with those brands, and if you see, our association has been quite long with each of them. So once we start a journey with a particular brand in any of these verticals, it continues and it only grows. So I think from a business point of view, I would say thinking a little long term and being strategically involved and treating each other as a growth partner is more important than some short-term vision of तुम मेरे को advance कितना दोगे या margin कितना दोगे. I think the education, long-term vision, brand awareness, customer preference are more important to decide on a particular brand than anything else.
See, you are saying you're planning to get into this bath and body products and those kind of
Am I
products
audible?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you said you were, going to expand your portfolio by getting into, products like bath and body and, bath and body stuff like that, makeup. Now that will require your technicians beyond what you have today, because what you have today is for skin, hair. Makeup will require a very different kind of influence happening. Again, with bath and body, it's a different, selling altogether. How do you expect to take, to take it forward there?
Okay, one or two things. One is that in bath and body, for example, we got a brand called Human Plus Kind, right? It's from Ireland, UK. So that's something we have got exclusively in India. The process was difficult because the entire thing of getting registrations and imports and all took almost a year and a half for us to finish. But having said that, uh, if you understand the ethos of that brand, right, it's quite aligned to how we want to operate our business and the direction we are going through or are going to, right? So we are very clear that in next year or so, we'll move every possible thing in skin and body and bath is going to be vegan, natural, not saying organic because organic is still a long way and true organic is a difficult thing to achieve, but at least something which is natural, which is not harmful, which is not chemically driven. And I think our customer also would prefer such choices as we go along. And today's customer is more aware than all of us, right? So that something has helped us. Second thing, again in bath and body and makeup, I repeat my point, the client profile is same, right? We need to cover that gap, that what we need to educate ourselves or prepare ourselves for being able to understand the business, for being able to implement successfully. And second thing is, we already have some blocks in place, right? Our hair business is doing good, skin is good. So how do we integrate this entire new thing offering, which makes even customers feel more value for money? Otherwise, if you say makeup is available everywhere, right? So there are certain things which you have thought of where it can create more engagement, more offer, more benefits for these new categories. I'll go on mute for a second. Joy is creating a background noise. I'll just drop him somewhere. 1 second.
Yeah. So I think we can continue.
Sure.
So when we were talking, so you would be training, you'll be having a very extensive training program when you get into this, I think, when you get into the segment of bath, beauty and makeup.
See, training is,
and then if you see even makeup, that way we do a decent business in makeup, right? There are a set of hairdressers or a beauty therapist, they have a passion to do makeup, right? And we continuously do training for them with our internal expert as well as the product partners and other creative people in the field. So that thing continues. It's just that we need to give little more focus and we need to get the retail side of it. And that's what we are working on.
See, with 86 outlets now, definitely they must be private label of yours on the cards.
As of now, nothing, because somewhere we feel that it's a matter of focus, right? So we feel that there are people who are in manufacturing, they have their own expertise, they have their focus, they have their kind of their advantage, right? Which they need to do it. We need to align to right set of things so that we focus on our service and our experience and our customer engagement and our selling capability rather than getting into every part of the business. There is no end to it. Second is, we also picked up from as a friend, as a peer group, as industry, we also get to know what's worked, what has not really worked, right? So somewhere, if I made a mistake of doing something, I'm sure Sachin can pick it up that, okay, fine, I need to think this little carefully, whether to go about it or not. So that also has helped us being not into jumping into private label so easily.
You're using a lot of consumption products that you get manufactured for you, right? So what is this kind of consumption product? What kind of products are you getting?
Oh, so see, almost since last 10 years, as far as skin and manicure pedicure is concerned, we use only single dose, right? And not all product manufacturers will have that option. Correct. There are brands who have created customized solution for us and we work with them. But as far as the pricing or the positioning of a particular service is concerned, there will be a gap. So in that case, we worked very closely with people who are into manufacturing of this facial kits and manicure pedicure, and we ensure that we're able to get good quality or efficacious product from them, and that is something used for our services business. But we have not done anything retail on that side. And again, monodose is the given thing because we ensure that that can help us following the right SOP. Technician will follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. The right quantity and consumption will reflect. Customer will feel special and will feel more personalized because that solution is meant for them. So overall it helps managing things much better way. And if you see today,
So you,
that has become the new norm.
so you don't
That has become the new
expect,
norm, right?
yeah. So when you don't sell these, you don't sell home care that is made, which is made for you, manufactured for you. You
So
don't sell products at
right
home.
now, no, but yeah, that is one thing we need to. So can we come up with some DIY facials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
Mm-hmm.
are customer can pick it up from us and then do at home, right? Or maybe some smart professional waxing options, right? So that we would want to explore. Things are still in my brain, and maybe some of the things are triggering from our conversation. uh, but we need to ensure that we are executing it carefully and living up to the promise which we give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
because
to put an effort in something that is sustainable in long term.
yeah, that is very important because
Yeah,
especially
sorry,
in
I lost you
days
in
like
between.
this when you can't keep jumping, you can't.
Yeah,
Okay,
Vikram,
so
change your alignment. Yeah.
well then let's
sorry.
Yes, Sheila.
Vikram, this Belita. Okay, I have seen this board at every Enrich outlet, but how are you actually getting Belita to work, or is it that you haven't really paid any much attention?
Okay. See, since we got this brand into our portfolio, and it's almost 3 years now, a little over 3 years, our focus always has to give a convenience to the customer, right? Or one more option for our existing set of customers. So we've gone more on the service level and the convenience part of the business, or the that side of the bucket, than going for the price driven approach, right? Because there are two sets of customers who are feeling that some good deal, I want to go for it, versus there are a set of customers who feel that okay, if the technician is coming at my time, maybe a new mom or some exam going on, or some elderly female client who can really uh, get out, or somebody is not so well, so then they prefer having some set of services at home, and these are regular services in nature, and we continue to focus only on those things, right? uh, so we want to drive it that way, where we talk about convenience. Second thing, maybe post COVID also our focus is going to be, because there are a lot of questions, right? People question salon model, other people question home model. We don't have a choice but to ensure that we make our customer feel safe on both uh, options we offer to our customers. We feel salons are safe because it's a control environment being monitored and managed by a responsible manager who's ensuring that everybody is following the discipline. So it is safer. Having said that, even home services also safe, especially for the differentiated approach what we have taken up for giving the home services, wherein this set of technicians are owned by us, right? Are part of the Planet Enrich. They are not on associated model, or they're not on any revenue sharing model. Or when we provide home services, we need to ensure that customer feels equally safe, right? And how? And this is what we feel. This is how. One is that they are owned, and when I'm saying owned by us, that says everything, right? So every day that technician reports to our salon, goes through the safety regime, which is meant for all team members, clears it. Our customer gets to know that this person is safe today, right? And that's how the process will start. We'll ensure that each of this technician goes to customer, which is in very close by and near catchments. They don't travel much. They carry uh, the items, or the kind of thing what they need to do it very limited, what is required to perform the services. They follow the ritual at salon. They shrink wrap the bag. They go there. After entering to the salon, or to the customer's place, they remove the shrink. They wear their apron. They wear their head cape. They wear their gloves. They wear their shoe cover. Every possible thing which we otherwise also doing at salon. They also offer similar set of things even to the customer, right? Because safety has to be for both. we certainly believe that, if our technician is going to even customers home, definitely customer homes is safe, but their sense of safety also has to be given to our technician. So it's equal responsibility of a customer as well as technician, and that's how our Me Too We campaign focuses on that. We both have to be mindful, careful, sensitive about each other's safety. So they offer it, they finish the process, obviously no cash, every possible thing, no touch, or rather minimum touch. And once they do it, they also dispose that thing, they shrink wrap the back and come back to the salon before they go to the next visit. So our Enrich home technician will not go from one customer's place to the other customer's place. They will come back and do the service. They will complete their refresh of things and then move to the next client. Maybe we'll not be able to cater to many more clients, but again, we firmly believe today is a time where a known person has to serve a known customer, right? So that is where we are wanting to focus on. There are a set of customers and who are friends, family. The thing was, I want to get things done, but I don't want unknown person to come in, right? So we also need to respect such feeling. Not that unknown person is coming is unsafe. I'm not saying that, right? But we need to ensure that if you have any doubt, we need to create a solution for each and every such things, right? The way we are creating solution at our salon, we'll also create a solution for any and every service we are offering at our home. So both are equally responsible business models. Both are equally, I would say, risky as well as safe environment. It is upon us how we take it about it and how we communicate and how we take it up to customers.
So eventually it boils down to how much do you trust a brand? What has been their track record? How do you know them to deliver on whatever commitment they make to you? And people will go to the brands that they feel comfortable about, and that's the way it should be.
So even that home technician will carry an app which customer has to go through. They will carry infrared along with them, which will check temperature of customer and then themselves both, right? So anything and everything we talk about safety, we all need to be extra careful that what all things can we make to see to that customer is comfortable and our person also is, our team member is also comfortable. And in following that process, yes, there will be inefficiency in terms of not being able to. Sorry. Just to complete my point,
okay.
In that process, yes, there will be a situation where we'll not be able to cater as many clients we will be, or we want to, or as many customers of ours want us to visit them and do the services. But we'll see to it that anything and everything we do is right now in this environment, in this change situation, is primarily driven by the safety norms.
Sure. How do you see this home service as an industry panning out? As a part of the industry panning out?
I'm sure we have talked about this in part of the forums. Recollect that conversation where you said was home service business was there even before salon business started, right? It's been there since our maybe second or third generation ahead, right? It's been there. It's just that it has got structured or more organized or more system driven or more technology driven in last 5-6 years. And it has definitely added an advantage to the customer in terms of choice, in terms of preference, in terms of price, right? And as long as customer is taking it in a way that they get to know, okay, fine, I have this option as well, why not, right? As a service provider, as a business or as a brand, we are definitely, anything and everything will start from the point where customer requires this, right? And we have to serve it. So both will exist, both will continue. We don't see any challenge that one eating up other and vice versa. We don't at least see that thing. And that's why we want to continue to give a focus on both verticals.
So where do you see this, the salon as a business evolving to? Where do you see the next level? Because see, what you are doing now is almost looking like a smart salon. You're doing everything very smartly. So,
Yes. Having said that, one point I want to share on home service, it's an expensive proposition. Please understand, right? Because your technician is spending time to go and come back, right? So productivity is lower. Plus, there is an additional cost of commuting, transport of material, uh, not being able to charge premium to the customer. In fact, there is a lot of discounting going on, right, by almost everyone who's in this business. So that way your realization or revenue per customer per hour or per technician is much lower, but the costs are same or even more. So as far as margins are concerned, contributions are concerned, uh, home service business is and will continue to be a low margin or maybe loss making proposition. Till we are not able to charge premium for the efforts and the inputs go into that business, and which customer feels or recognizes that, okay, I need to pay. Today you pay premium for a doctor to come to your place, right? But we don't pay any premium. You are in fact saying, "Aapko kharcha kya? Aapko ghar pe bhejna hai, so I want 25% less or I want 50% off," right? I think that mindset has to change. Otherwise, if you're trying to make it more cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, obviously it will result in compromising on product, education, whole lot of inputs in terms of effort, in terms of cost, overheads, definitely will get optimized. And somewhere it will also impact the experience as well.
I just want to add a small bit here. I think consumer behavior is the key. Okay. And consumer behavior is driven by their values, their attitude, their lifestyle. And anything that happens that affects your value system, your attitudes, and your lifestyle will have a bearing on your consumption behavior, your buying behavior. Now, if you see the salon service or the home service, we have to now, each one of us has to put our thinking caps and say, how will this affect the salon behavior? How will it affect at-home behavior? My view, it will affect both in a very significant manner. Why? Because the service we provide is a very primordial, necessary service that everybody needs. Then what will happen? What will happen is there will be, once many people take to something, that industry automatically starts getting segmented. Okay, and we live in a country where our main benefit is that we have tons and tons of people. So there will be different kinds of people who will want different kind of home service. There already was, okay, and there will be. The only thing is it will get much better, sharply segmented. For example, today you can buy a car for several crores and you can buy a car for a little more than a couple of lakhs, correct? So you will again have different price points and different expectation points, and there will be providers to deliver what customers are requesting for, and that is the way it will be, because that's how the markets operate.
And one good thing about this business is there is no MRP. In service business, there is no MRP. It's a MEP, maximum experience price, right? So as long as I'm living up to the experience I'm giving, I can charge whatever premium I want to give it, or I want to make it very competitive, I can still do that. So it's upon a business model, and any and every business model will work depending upon what focus you are driving with. And if you stick to that core focus, I'm sure there is enough for everyone to sail through.
Yeah, it is like take for example, I remember I was working on a mineral water brand at a time when mineral water brands were like almost as costly as gold, and we would look down upon people saying, this person insists on mineral water, they are snobs. Okay, then we had one or two water-led pandemics, correct? All of us remember getting down from trains and running and getting our bottles filled and running back by the time the train started when we were going to our vacations. 2-3 pandemics happened, and then suddenly in place of 1 or 2 mineral water brands, you had 100 mineral water brands. Okay, and then the price points dropped. Today, you hardly have any mineral water brand. You have packaged water. You have all kinds of water. You name it, and there is a huge market, and there are huge number of buyers. Even the regular person going out today doesn't think twice about spending 10 or 20 or 30 bucks and buying a bottle of water. Now that became, how did that journey happen? That happened because something triggered it. It opened out a set of options. Brands came in to deliver those, and customers were there at each price point. So it's exactly, you set up an expectation, you meet it, more number of people buy that, you grow. As simple as that.
Thank you. I think Ritoo,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think you can.
All right. So, okay. So, gentlemen and lady, we've made some great points about how the whole scenario is changing, customer service, retail. But for salons, there are a few things that are very, very crucial, and one of them being education. And you have, kind of again been pioneers when you tied up with the Symbiosis initiative and offering a degree in, this,
Beauty and wellness.
beauty and wellness. So, where are we with that? And so there are a few things happening with the Beauty and Wellness Sector Skill Council is doing something at the very basic level where you have the recognized prior learning happening, so that we can, incorporate more and more numbers into the industry. Then we have the smaller partner academies. Some of you have academies with offering art certificates, which are L'Oreal-led, initiative. And then we have the university degrees. And now with the pandemic, I believe lots of them are also offering digital diplomas, and of course the hygiene thing is happening all over the place. So where are we as far as Enrich is concerned on education right now, and what is going to change from this moment onwards?
Who is this question for? Sheela has been very specific.
For whoever wants to take it. Both of you have, yeah.
Okay, I'll just tell you. Okay, like Vikram was saying, from the very, very beginning, education has been one huge pillar at Enrich. Okay, possibly because it was founded by people who didn't come from the stylist fraternity, but whichever way you look at it, it's been something that has been very holy for us. If you see, most of our team members will tell you that in all the places that they worked at, education isn't so much of a big thing as it is at Enrich. Even so, logically, therefore, we were one of the first few to set up proper academies. Our academies are CIDESCO certified. Incidentally, our salons are also CIDESCO certified, and we're the only salon chain in the country to have that certification. Our academies offer the Earth course. We were also the first to be knowledge partners with the Skill University. We work with various aspects of the government in terms of the skilling process. Even in the lockdown period, I think our team members have gone through enough number of hours of training that they would normally do in 6 months or 8 months, because it was possible for us to do that, because we have a ecosystem that is also a little bit tech friendly, so we made it easy for them to do that. At the Symbiosis University, this year, the first batch of the 3-year program, the first graduates will pass out. We are already doing virtual internships with them. That tie-up is on. Those students are getting onboarded. Again, in this whole education thing, I think education is going to be a huge trust building factor as we go ahead. And I'm hoping that we'll come to a time where, just like it is in outside countries, like you need to have a licensed sort of certification to be able to perform at the floor. If that becomes lay for the basic thing for everybody, that will really help. But I'm very, very buoyant about the fact that this pandemic will be a huge thrust creator for that. It will accelerate the whole process like nothing else has done so far.
Okay. Just to add to it, if you see, there is a huge shift which has happened. The way we teach or the way we learn, right? I think the fraternity or the professional in this industry were not that inclined or kind of were not trained enough to take or get virtual trainings, right? But this pandemic has, by natural process, has forced all of us, right? And today that has become a new normal, right? So today, if I want to conduct a training, I can address 1,000, 2,000 people at one go, or I want to attend training, the best of training, I can enroll and I can get there. So it has created a big shift, not only for a learner, but also for a teacher. And those who are fit, those who are great, those who can communicate well, those who can show their thing, there is endless opportunity, right? Where today any of our creative friends can actually address to maybe 2,000, 5,000 people, and think about a situation, even if it is charging some minimal amount, that session can generate definitely a huge or decent amount for that an individual to kind of invest that much time and effort, right? Correct? And
yeah,
it has changed complete dynamic situations where, oh, this is from Bombay, or this one is from West, or this one is from India, for that matter, right? It has kind of broken all kind of passed by all boundaries, and those who can do a great job, definitely there is a huge opportunity for them, and there is a respect, and there is a need or the craving to learn, correct? And as a student, I want to attend a training of my role model. Probably it was not possible earlier. Now it is, right? Today, Harvards of the world are offering online courses and at a very reasonable price, right? So there is huge shift, and I think more than shift, there is a huge opportunity which has come up for people who are into education field. Not only this industry, but overall.
Yeah, 3-4 game changers. See, earlier I needed into every 10 students, you needed a trainer. Today, your best trainer can train 1,000 people. That becomes a big game changer. Number two, like I was telling you, in the past few weeks, my team has had some more than 12 or 15 industry greats conducting tailor-made sessions for them, where they've asked questions and they've got answers, and they've done that kind of learning. People who've been in the industry for 10 years have not got that opportunity so far. They got in the last 2 months. Okay, it'll also open up a different set of market. If you would have seen Vikram 3 days ago, he's looking trimmer now because he's had a hair trim and a beard trim. The way that happened was one of our makeup trainers was on a video call, and
hair trainers
were on a video call. Somebody was holding a video. One of his two family members were helping, one by actually performing, one by holding the phone. And they managed to, between the three of them, it took them an hour, but they managed to do a very good workable job of it. Now, this wasn't required before, so it wasn't being done. But today you can get the very best in the world to consult for you.
Sure.
Look at US, there are models who are charging by an hour, $25, $30, an hour to give you e-consultation on DIY techniques.
Now this is very, very
India,
interesting, right?
Maybe it's a long way, but yes, at least education concern, I think there is a huge opportunity.
This one to many is a game changer. For example, tomorrow we are doing a session for our entire team members and maybe a couple of other friend companies as well, where we are getting somebody, a doctor from our fraternity who Enrich has worked with in the past, whom we respect a lot, and they're going to take a 2-hour session demystifying every aspect of this COVID thing for us. Now, imagine what level of reassurance that can bring in, what level of thing it can bring in, which earlier did not exist. Correct? Doctors are not keen on doing telemedicine. Now they are very, very happy to do that because it keeps them safe and keeps them
you're doing that. Putting this in a structure, now that online is so much an integral part of our lives, and COVID is driving us towards that. And in our industry, I think it was always there. Some of the people like Vivian McKinder, whom I've worked very closely with, she had a platform. hair designer TV. So do you see that becoming an integral part of your system in terms of educating your people?
Again, the
So,
same market theory, right? If there are enough people doing it and enough people who set that expectation, that will happen.
Sure.
so I would say that we'll continue focusing on the service and experience side of it, not the education. Rather, we would take complete advantage of options available to us, and we would want to train our people more and more on such things. I don't think so. We carry that expertise or maybe that much enough bandwidth to create a different vertical where we can take it as a commercial approach and set up a thing and e-learning, and maybe at least it's not coming in our immediate list of priorities.
As a business model. However, we will definitely employ it to train our people, right?
Right.
Work with the best in the business to do that.
So before we wrap up, I want a quick, input from both of you and even Sheela ji about what's happening in the industry. We say that officially we employ about 70 lakh people in this industry, right? But unofficially we are at 2.5 crores actually.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look at the barbers, the beauticians, then the villages and the towns, totally unaccountable.
So we are almost 1.5% of the population.
Oh yes, and 65 lakh salons, out of which only 30% are officially registered. So looking at that kind of scale, and no single industry organization that represents this gamut of the industry, and we do have several associations in states and representing some groups, etc., but nothing which brings everybody under the same umbrella, which says to the government, look here, we are so many millions of people and we need to be heard, and we need to be kind of, this industry needs to be addressed properly. What do you think? What should be the few steps, if that come to your mind, that should be taken to bring in this unity or a unified face?
Before, just 1 second, before Vikram takes this, actually even now there is ABTC, there is IBA, there is SOWA, there are see, this again is segmented.
Yes.
There are lots of people working in different pockets.
Absolutely.
That has always been there.
Yeah.
So your question is whether there should be one unifying thing.
There should be, and because we see that when it comes to, for example, the Retailer Association of India, I'm taking that as an example because that also has some of our own salon chains, including yourself as members at the Retailer Association. And they have done some tremendous work in, presenting their voice to the government, and even bringing in the mom and pop stores into their purview. And every state they have a connect, and it works like a whole system. We unfortunately are yet to reach there. We can, of course we can. But what do you see happening for us so that we can, kind of become more streamlined and structured in this?
See, if you see this lockdown condition, by natural process got us all together, right? And that is how like group of friends spoke about, understand, and trying to find how can we do a representation, how can we request authorities to do, and somewhere we have made a really good progress. That power of being collective has got us some great immediate results, right? So each of us also understand, there is a kind of strength in being a collective, right? And if you add up, like, example, and when we were like talking about, we did this, something, should we formalize? Why should we formalize? Yes, then we realize that, okay, fine, we can have a better representation to authorities and government. At least decision makers in this country will listen to us as a recognized forum, right? That is one advantage. Second thing, it brings people together, right? It can create a lot of learning benefits. It can, the way, like, we again pick up from the RAIs and Restaurant Association and Automobile Association, right? When people work together, industry, individual player, big or small, will definitely benefit out of it, because there is a voice which goes and it reach far when you collectively take this forward. So that self-realization has happened in almost every one of us who was part of this process, right? Having said that, what we really miss is maybe a kind of an umbrella industry forum, right? Because we have one side BWSCC, which is focusing on skilling and education, and that should continue, and that should work very closely with something like industry representation. Along the side, each within these umbrella, there will be different focus area for people who are focusing on a particular category of business, or representing the region, or a kind of geography, or the business model, right? So those things have to still continue. It's just that you require a kind of one voice as far as dealing with first is difficult situation like this, and I hope we never come across with anything in future. But yeah, there will be challenges. There will be opportunities for us to do something better, right, for industry and for people in this industry, right? So this structured effort will definitely help us, as long as it is being represented by a forum, represented by kind of balanced thing. It's not individual driven. It is not trying to create me versus you situation. It is from me to we. Then I think definitely it holds a big advantage to be part of it. And I don't think so we need to justify or explain or ask anyone. We all realize the need of it, right? It's just that we need to formalize that arrangement.
Let me give
All
you
the effort, and I hope it will work.
Yeah, let me give you a slightly different perspective, Ritoo.
Yes.
You mentioned Retail Association of India. Now, if you see retail, let's figure out what all triggered it. Today, there will be at least 10,000 management colleges which have a retail course. Every small city will also have a mall. So, entire retail industry went through an inflection and went through a big boom. It attracted lots of foreign investment, foreign brands, this, that, and the other, and that entire ecosystem evolved, and therefore, logically, the representation for it also evolved. So, if you look at that as a parallel to the salon industry, I think we are still smaller by that definition, by the retail definition, and it will still need to become bigger. It will need 3-4 different tipping points for us to get to that scale and that level. And you will then start seeing markers. You will see multiple colleges where there will be a salon management or a spa management course. You will see a lot of international brands coming in or us going out. All of those things you will be able to see.
Sure.
It will add to the momentum.
Yeah.
Sheela, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think see, there are so many associations. You look at any place within the region, there are regional associations, and besides that, then there are aestheticians. They have association, or barbers association. So again, within those different functions, you have associations. So, and if we could have something like a federation of these associations, which could probably be the voice. We will have to work towards it, because getting everybody on the same page is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Because everyone would have, again, when you look at it, every region has its own aspirations.
Yes.
And these blocks are there within the country a lot. So hopefully this COVID would have changed that a lot. We don't know how it is, because we may, when the lockdown comes out, we are still wondering what's going to happen. Are we all going to rush to the liquor stops? We don't know. So, so we don't know what we're going to do. So hopefully, this COVID would have changed that, and we will look at we versus the me, and they should sort out a lot of things. And even when you look at the licensing part, because there's a lot of talk of licensing, there has been a talk like we have something like this medical council, which is not the government, but the licenses are given by the council.
Private body, yeah.
Yeah. So again, then that private body can now actually look at how much the esthetician or the hairdresser is qualified, and the individual is licensed. So that, which means the salon employs only those licensed individuals. Those kind of changes have to come up before we really look at that umbrella.
I have a slightly different view on this. Anything which you want to create to regulate the business, maybe this is my personal opinion, right? Is that somewhere it will create rifts and not easy. I think the need of an hour or situation today is to have a representation to work on challenges and issues faced by industry, and that includes every possible business vertical, every possible professional role, every possible geography, every possible state, every possible thought process, every possible individual, right? And even if you're able to achieve 4 or 5 macro level objectives, then we can still continue with all the forums which are there, because they are also meant with some purpose and objective, right? So we really can't make a shift to that thing. Why? Even in retail, there is RAI, but then there are, like, we have Ghatkopar Retail Association or Lokhandwala Lane Association, right? That will still continue, because that is their focus area would be more of medium to short term, to today to tomorrow to maybe next week or a month, right? Versus this forum, and it can be a federation, it can be anything. It's just a power of being together, right? So that's something has to be done. I don't think so we need to get anything further or trying to make it too complicated because then the buying becomes a challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I'm saying that when you have all these small associations, all you can do is get them all into a federation, get them all represented in a federation, so that you have a voice and everybody continues with their own aspirations too.
We don't need to get to the legal aspect of it.
No, you don't have to.
And as long as it creates a one voice, a right voice, with the right energy and enthusiasm, I think we get there. And it has worked, right? When 100, 200 people collectively listening to when Nitin Gadkari talking about, and maybe 4 or 5 people adding to what collective thought is and then putting across as a case, it created that impact, right? And this can become bigger, this can become deeper, this can become more effective when more and more people join this moment or this movement.
Yes, Sachin, you were saying.
I am hungry. No. I'm.
So where are those tough questions of Tuesdays? Where the
so we were all prepared like this, and we both with beards and all saying these are the tough.
These are tough times.
I think tough Tuesdays were because of technology. The technology gave us a tough time.
Yeah.
It did. But well, you all are very tough. So the tough question seemed easy.
I don't think we are tough at all. That is the last adjective I've heard being used for us.
Sachin, you are really tough.
Yes,
is what they mean.
Tough guys.
I think these Tuesdays are meant for managing the tough time rather than tough Tuesdays, right? It's like, yes, as you rightly said, it's thing which we need to.
The focus has completely shifted. I see that, yesterday we were talking about, this rampant franchising happening, and we were wondering what's happening, why people out there giving out franchises and how the quality is taken care of. Nobody was kind of able to grapple with what the industry was up to with all the franchises opening left, right, and center. And then there was, of course, the poaching, and there were so many issues which we are just not talking about.
No, but I'll tell you, in this entire lockdown period, I have attended and been on several webinar panels.
Sure.
The only paid webinar I did, where the participants paid to enter, was a franchising one, incidentally.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. which I found very interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. So thank you so much for spending such quality time with us today. And we will, let's stay connected. Let's stay, in communication. We would love to hear more from you on both Beaute Espace TV and Beauty Launchpad. And thank you, all of you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Ritoo.
so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for having us. Bye.